If there is one thing that all gig workers should know, whether driving for Uber, Lyft, or delivering food for any of the various applications, it is that the public will never know what you do not tell them. What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim with another gig worker video. Shout out to DoorDash drivers that go regularly on social media platforms and tell folks, letting the public know what the hell us drivers are going through. You see the TikTok platform where you got DoorDash drivers dumping folks food on the ground because the customer didn't tip, driving all the way to their house, finding out they're not going to tip and leaving with their food. Listen, I understand it's bad service. I understand how awful it looks. But at the end of the day, this is the shit that needs to get out into the public. People need to realize, one, how little gig workers earn. Two, how few customers tip us. Now, in the food delivery business, they do receive tips at a higher percentage than us rideshare drivers, but they clearly are not happy as well. And today we're going to talk about a DoorDash driver that falls under this category. Now, this is coming from an article, and listen to the title of it. It says every damn thing you need to know. I took a chance because it was a pizza. DoorDash driver takes tipless Little Caesars order. It's the last time he will. Now, obviously, just from the article alone, hearing the driver say that he took a chance, quote unquote, took a chance to deliver a tipless Little Caesars order, and this is the last time he will, you already know how it turned out. First of all, let's be clear. If you're ordering pizza from Little Caesars, that's some bullshit ass pizza, by the way. If you're ordering pizza from Little Caesars, you already are trying to save money. So you're not going to get a big tipper asking for pizza from Little Caesars. Just make that clear. Back in the day, I remember Little Caesars pizzas were like $5. It's really just bread and sauce. So I'm not here to pretend like Little Caesars is gourmet pizza. So expecting a big ass tip from a Little Caesars customer is probably wishful thinking to begin with. However, in this case, the driver, or at least the article, was claiming it was a $250 order. I don't know if that sounds right. Little Caesars, you're gonna order a lot of shit from Little Caesars to equal $250. But you've seen the title of the article. Now, here is how the driver walked away. Obviously, you already know what happens, but listen to the quote from the driver. "Don't take no tip orders. They do not tip afterwards. And they're scum people," warns the TikToker. His tipless Little Caesars order is also a reminder to customers of the importance of valuing and respecting service industry workers. First of all, the customers don't give a damn about the fact that you're a service industry worker. The customers are trying to get services for as low of a cost as they can get them. If you're willing to do shit for virtually no pay at all, customers will happily let you do it. It's no different than child labor in another country. If you're willing to do this, hey, if it benefits me, I will take your non-profitable ass and let you do labor for me all day. So the customers don't give a damn about valuing service workers. The only way this is going to work in our favor is you as a driver have to demand more. First of all, when it comes to a tipless order, don't be a hoe. Get the money up front. That's what all hoes say. If you're going to be dealing with strangers, and in the ride-sharing business and in the food delivery business, that is what you do for a living. You are dealing with strangers all day long. Do not trust strangers. Do not expect greatness from strangers. If you're dealing with a stranger, get the money up front. If a stranger is telling you they're going to pay you later, assume that stranger is lying to you. To my veteran drivers, how many of you folks have been told by a passenger, "I'll tip you through the app," and it turned out they were lying? The overwhelming, and I mean overwhelming to the tune of maybe 80 to 90% of passengers that say they're going to tip you later on do not do it. When dealing with strangers, get the money up front or assume you're not going to get the money at all. So if you're doing food deliveries, and you're taking a delivery where there is no tip in it, or even in some cases where the customer state in the text portion of the delivery that they're going to tip you when you get there, Be very skeptical of that. Even when it comes to them telling you in the messaging that they're going to tip you, they lie on that as well. If there is no upfront tip on that order, there's a great chance you're not going to get tipped at all. So I don't do food delivery, but I used to. I'm not a fan of it. I just think it's extra work for, zero extra pay. But for those who do it, listen, just like a hoe would say, get the money up front. If there is no tip on the order, don't take that order. Now, the second issue is the companies themselves, whether ride sharing or food delivery. It is the companies that has disincentivized tipping. They could have made the tipping culture in this business considerably better. It could have been just like it was in the taxi business, just like it is in the restaurant business. But to get a larger share of the market, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all of these different companies basically was trying to let the passengers know, let the customers know, hey, our shit is cheaper. You don't even have to worry about tipping the folks. That's how much of a cheaper service we're going to give you. And that is what has stuck. It's primarily Uber. I don't think Lyft started out blocking tips. We know Uber did. Uber would not let passengers tip us for about 3 years. That's how bad it was. To the point where even the passengers are crying out and asking, why the hell can't we tip the driver if they're giving us good service? So the ride-sharing companies, the food delivery companies themselves, disincentivize tipping. In the food delivery business, for instance, they know drivers ain't making shit. They should either charge a gratuity up front, like some businesses do, they put a $2 or $3 gratuity on every order. Do that up front, like they do with their delivery charge that they get, or whatever they're dealing with. They make sure they get their money up front. Either put a gratuity charge in it up front, or put a big ass warning for any customer that's trying to place an order without tipping, making it clear that they understand by not tipping, you increase the likelihood of you never receiving this order or it taking an exceptionally long time to arrive. Because a lot of drivers, the smart ones at least, don't fuck with no tip orders. They don't even mess with it. So if the DoorDashes and Uber Eats and the Grubhubs and all of these other companies would put a big ass warning to customers, of what can happen if they don't tip, that would also lead to more tipping. Okay, maybe, I don't want to tip at all, but this big ass, all right, I'll give them $2. Listen, that shit makes a difference to drivers. You don't have to tip a lot. It's just when you don't tip at all. I would submit to you myself, if every passenger tipped $1, I believe most drivers would make more money than they're getting right now in tips. Because there's so many passengers, at least in the ride-sharing industry, that don't tip at all. If every passenger tipped a single dollar, I think most drivers would make more in tips than they do right now with the sporadic $5 tip. But let me know in the comments, particularly my veteran drivers, do you think you'd make more getting $1 from every passenger guaranteed, or from the tips you get now? Let your boy know in the comments. As always, subscribe to the channel, click the like button. See you in the next video.